Hello, my name is Moustafa and welcome to our presentation about Things Fall Apart, a novel by Chinua Achebe.
My name is Hanya Hashim.
And my name is Yehia.
In the next 10 minutes, you'll know a lot more about Achebe's life, a brief history of Nigeria, the importance of the novel, and religion and gender structures of the Igbo people.
Born as Albert Chinua Alumogu by his Christian convert parents on November 16, 1930, in Ogidi, Nigeria, Chinua Achebe took up his Igbo name that we know of after having refused to change his name to a westernized one. As a Christian, he had viewed how Western cultures and African cultures blended. However, after Achebe had enrolled in a missionary school, he became aware of how students were forbidden to speak Igbo and were encouraged to discard previous traditions that don't coincide with the British ones. Despite getting a scholarship in medicine, it became apparent how English writing appealed to him the most, making it an example of ambivalence. While studying English literature, the teachers attempted to provide some relevancy to the Nigerian students by reading works such as Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. Nonetheless, Conrad's novel had justified the British colonies, unlike the uprising ideology across Nigeria, which opposed it after World War II, which is an example of colonial hegemony. He graduated in 1952 and immediately sought to show the true identities of Africans to the world, as they had been disfigured by Europeans as they portrayed them as savage and other. He first published Things Fall Apart in 1958, which presented the culture and lifestyle of the Igbo people and how Nigeria was already a civilization that didn't require European intervention. The novel, along with others called No Longer at Ease and Arrow of God, had become incredibly popular on contested European narratives and misrepresenting the African people. As in the novel, Achebe refashions the English language to portray Igbo voices and concepts. However, in his fourth novel, A Man of the People, Achebe discussed the corrupt and irresponsible government that ended in a military coup, similar to the one in Nigeria. As a result of it, a piece of territory known as the Biafra attempted to secede, and a civil war broke out, killing millions. After the massacre of the Igbos had started in the north, Achebe saw asylum for his family in eastern Nigeria. Furthermore, during this period, he had become an advocate for Biafra's independence. However, the Biafran cause lost the war. Achebe continued to publish works to showcase the Igbo perspectives. Achebe then taught African literature in multiple universities in the USA, such as the University of Massachusetts, where he had denounced the Heart of Darkness, which caused some outrage amongst the students. His lectures had encouraged the community to study African literature. Overall, Achebe's works showcased the suppressed perspective of African Americans and taught people around the world that each Asia has multiple narratives surrounding it. He has been awarded over 30 doctorates and was attributed by many people, most notably being Nelson Mandela. Unfortunately, Chinua Achebe passed away on the 21st of March 2013, but his legacy continues to this very day.
Pre-colonial and post-colonial history of Nigeria. Throughout millennia, an abundance of ethnic groups were prevalent in Nigeria, including Protestant, Yoruba, and Catholic Igbo in the east. Nomads, traders, refugees, and climatic changes came to the indigenous people, and foreign countries understood the value of the resources in the country. The novel takes place in Nigeria during the end of the 19th century and the start of the 20th century. The British had a massive presence in Western Africa and were involved in the slave trade during the 17th and 18th centuries. This changed, however, by 1807, nearly 100 years before the British occupation of Nigeria, and the slave trade was made illegal in the empire, however, was still prevalent. Due to this transgression, the British decided to annex the capital of Nigeria at the time, Lagos, the main slave trade center, and slowly occupied the rest of Nigeria over the following 5 decades. Because of this, it was evident that the British had the desire to take over the natural wealth of the country, similar to other European powers at the time in Western Africa. The Berlin Conference of 1884, which was a conference held by the Europeans to determine colonial borders, had declared Nigeria as British territory. The control over the country had meant economic benefit for the British, religious spread, and governmental power. In the southern areas of the country, where Umufeya and Things Fall Apart takes place, there was no central authority in the region, and therefore the British had entered and took their needs at will and forcefully obtained local control. In the north, however, Muslim leaders had acted as tax collectors and ran the government locally for the British, and thus were supported by the colonizers. An example of this can be seen in chapter 15 of the novel Things Fall Apart, where a white man in the local area was driving through to Akhiara and was killed by the Nigerians in the south, and all the villagers were murdered by British forces as a result. This event in Akhiara evoked the Bend Onitsha hinterland expedition that led to the obliteration of the Igbo people. In addition, the collective punishment ordinance was implemented, which inflicted punishment to the Nigerians to those who violated laws built by the colonizers. As British culture had been dispersed in the region, the British had sent Nigerians to Britain for education, and post-World War II, many Nigerian nationalists had emerged had emerged through their learning and pleaded for the freedom of their nation. Finally, they had gotten their wish, and Nigeria had been an independent country by October 1st of 1960, which followed decades of awful instability within the country.
To begin, it's important to know that the novel, Things Fall Apart, is written about life in Nigeria at the turn of the 20th century and was published 2 years before Nigeria gained its independence. The novel takes verse from the European poem, The Second Coming, and the specific verse is as follows. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold, mere anarchies loosed upon the world. Accordingly, the poem implies that due to an internal flaw in humanity, anarchy and chaos occurred, and things fall apart because of internal weakness within the indigenous. The community of Umofia is unable to resist the tidal wave of foreign religion, commerce, technology, and government. Now, one of Achebe's purposes when releasing the novel was to present a complex and dynamic society to a Western audience that viewed African society as primitive, simple, and backward. This meant that the author wanted to oppose the stereotypical tone towards African cultures as a result of colonial literature. The novel reverses colonial literature as the author brings African culture to life with a religion, a government, a system of money, an artistic tradition, and a judicial system. Moreover, the author stereotypes the white colonialists as rigid, most with imperialistic intentions, as opposed to the Igbos who are open to new ideas. To clarify, the author does not aim to present Igbo culture as faultless and idyllic. He does this by depicting both negative and positive aspects of Igbo people and criticizes them even as much as he does the colonizers.
Igbo people's religions. Igbo people don't have a designated religion, however, their people were made up of many believers of indigenous beliefs that have been passed down through a multitude of generations. These indigenous beliefs had a few communalities, such as having a creator god known as Shakwu or Shiniki, while also believing in many other deities, such as the earth goddess Allah or Ani being one of the most powerful deities. Added to this, the divination and oracles are used to discover the will of the gods. A few things the Igbo considered sacred include animals such as crocodiles, believed to be the messengers of Chukwu, sent to protect the villagers. Trees, as they are used for spiritual purposes such as taming insanity, offering sacrifices to the gods, sealing judicial decisions, and blessing and cursing people. And masquerades, as they are believed to be visitors from the spiritual world sent to carry out mission on earth. Today, most Igbo people have adopted Christianity, with some individuals having committed religious syncretism between Christianity and indigenous Igbo beliefs, which is an example of hybridization between the colonizers.
Gender roles play a pivotal role in traditional Igbo culture. Life around them is given gender, including crimes and crops. Being stereotypically assigned their own jobs within families, women are often considered second to men, however have the potential to bear features such as the ability to produce children that allow them to become worshipped. Aside from this, women are typically meant to be submissive to their righteous husband and have children in order to be considered pure. Moreover, the mother takes on the role of teaching her children social norms, ethics, and morals through oral tradition and moral instructions. They do that in order to make sure that the children bring honor to their families. Furthermore, female children accompany their mothers and learn from them, as they have the potential of becoming a mother in the future. Conversely, males in society have many other responsibilities, the main one being to provide for their families. Additionally, as boys grow, they spend more time with their fathers so that they learn how to become what they consider to be an ideal man. For the Igbo people, the ideal man provides for his family materially and has prowess on the battlefield. For instance, the protagonist of Things Fall Apart is too concerned with masculinity, causing him to be rather unbalanced. Also, as a result of the patriarchal society of the Igbo people, men were considered to be wealthier given the more females they had married. In addition, when the father of a family dies, the inheritance only moves down to the male children, and if he's only had female children, he can choose to change the gender of one of his kids.
All in all, Achebe's works have attempted to portray African cultures and perspectives, most famous of which was his novel Things Fall Apart, as it succeeded in presenting African cultures as dynamic and contradicting the way it is viewed by the West. I hope this video had urged you to read this prominent novel, and thank you for your time and attention. See you!